So Daniel Jones did a sit-down interview with Tyler Dunn, who has his own Substack. It was for the Substack. Obviously, it was an article form, not a podcast or anything. But these are just my quick reactions to it because he definitely opened up a lot more than he has before, in my opinion. And I'm obviously biased. I'm a Giants fan. I have a signed Daniel Jones football up there. So obviously I care a lot, but yeah, I thought it was definitely interesting. Obviously, the biggest thing that people are going to run with is the fact that he said that he thinks that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league when healthy. And honestly, obviously, he hasn't really won anything. He's won one playoff game, which is still more than some people who have been crowned in this league, like Justin Herbert. But, the perception around Daniel Jones will get him hate for that comment. At the same time, he's not even 10 games removed from the playoff performance in Minnesota, where he had 301 yards, was 24-35, 2 touchdowns, and 78 rushing yards. And then last year, a few weeks before he got hurt, against Arizona, and now it is Arizona. They were bad, but they also upset a lot of teams last year. They beat the Cowboys and the Eagles. They didn't beat the Giants despite being up like 20 on us at halftime because Daniel Jones in the second half became the first person ever to have over 250 passing yards, over 50 rushing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, no turnovers. He did that in one half against the Cardinals in Arizona. So he's still capable of making plays. And this is the longest that he's been with one coach at the same time. He talked about Dable. He said that, they're getting to spend more time together, figure out what makes, what they both like to do. Obviously, they're going to grow the offense as they spend more years together on the same team. And he did say that, they have very different personalities, but it's the same end goal, and they work well together, which makes sense if you look at the sideline. Dable is yelling at literally everyone, causing a scene. Daniel Jones is much more reserved. And both are cool as long as you get the job done, which, they did for one season. Last season was just hell from the blocked kick in week 1 when you were driving the ball. So that's its own story. He talked about how happy he was that they picked a receiver and not a quarterback. He said that Malik Neighbors opens up the offense and they're just building trust and chemistry with each other right now. And he's excited to see what happens there. And more other comments, he said obviously he's excited for the season. He's excited that he's healthy again. The ACL recovery went well. He's also jacked now and trying to grow a beard, if that matters to anybody. But, even today we saw him start a fight basically with the Detroit Lions defensive line. So Daniel Jones does have that dog in him, and I think we've seen that repeatedly. He just has never been on a halfway decent football team. And then I think most importantly was Hard Knocks. Obviously, a lot of the coverage around Hard Knocks was the fact that the Giants wanted to trade up for a quarterback. Now, if you're the starting quarterback of that team that just got his contract and is coming off of an injury, I'm sure you absolutely, if it was me, I would be, glaring holes at the TV. I probably wouldn't even watch it. And he said that, they sent it to him early so that he could get a look at it before it came out for the masses. But he said that he's fired up. He was ticked off. He said it would be impossible not to be ticked off. And this is what I meant where, Daniel Jones probably 2 years ago does not say this. I don't think he's this open. I think at this point in his career, he's 6-7 years in. He's I bet. I think he knows that this is make or break this year. He has to play well. Otherwise, he's gone. I think the team knows that as well. And similar situation to 2022 where they didn't pick up his fifth-year option, so he was going to be a free agent after, and he played well enough to get that contract. So it's the same exact situation for Daniel Jones again this year, where he basically has to convince them to keep him on the team. And judging by what we saw 2 years ago, I think it's possible. This is also by far the best team he's been on. Like I said, 3 years with the same coach hasn't happened before. Even as a rookie, before even playing a single NFL game, he has never played with a receiver as good as Malik Neighbors. And the rest of the offense seems pretty good too, but we'll have to see what happens because it's the Giants and they find a way to crush my soul every year without fail for the last decade. So, yeah, that is my breakdown of the article. I thought it was really interesting. It is behind a paywall, so I thought it would be cool to do a breakdown on here. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.